Hey, welcome to the channel, folks. I've got my Ryft out today, and I'm going to show it to you real quick. And the main reason I have it out is I'm going to put a locker in the front of it, the front differential. And we're going to turn it into a crawler. The drivetrain or the motor that's in it now, in the ESC, it's more of a, I don't know, like a backer, bouncer type of setup. And I'm going to try to turn this thing into a crawler so we can crawl with it. So I've got the Fusion 1200 kV. It just came in. We're going to be putting that in there. Went ahead and got a gear for it. This particular one's the Traxxas gear. I'm hoping it'll work. I think it will. Those are Mod 1 gears in the Ryft. And then I've got some shaft adapters to adapt the shaft up to 5 millimeters to fit this gear. So this has a smaller shaft. I can't remember how big it is. 317 or something like that. Anyhow, we're going to be putting that in there, but today I'm going to concentrate on getting a locker put in the front. I've already got a locker put in the back, in the rear diff. So I have a rear steer on it. And I've already done the Treal upgrade, so it has Treal arms, links, drag link, Treal servo savers, and we'll be getting rid of the stock radio setup on it too. And we'll be probably set it up for my GT5 Fly Sky. I'll show it to you real quick here. Got Treal axles, links, the rear. And when I go to the GT5, I'll be able to control the steering on the other channels because it's a 5-channel. So I'll be able to steer it independently and do it a little bit different than what I'm using the Firmra. Go ahead and tear this front end apart and get those gears out of it. I'm already taking the liberty of pulling a few of them out. I'll go ahead and set you down here. Maybe you can see better. Stand by. Alright. See if that's going to be a little bit better here. We already got 3 of the screws out of the diff cover. That way it doesn't take up a whole lot of video time. Here's the gear we're going to be putting in it. Or not the gear, but the locker. And I'm still going to have to lock up the center diff too. But at least the front and the rear will be locked. You can see here the rear is already locked. Gotta hold it here. Okay. Anyway, so the rear is already locked up. The front's not locked up. And here I can spin them both opposite directions. I can't do that with the rear ones. I have the same locker in the rear that I'm putting in the front. I think I used white lithium grease in here, and we're going to be swapping that out for a different type of grease. Just going to use the standard red gear grease. And I want to take this link apart over here so I can pull these axles out to get the center diff out. Yeah, I'm going to have to flip it over to access the screw. Get this link off. This is a 2mm bolt wrench. 5.5 on the wrench. And that's all there is to that. Pull that up out of there. Then that gives us our links separated. Don't lose your shims. Be sure to keep a hold of the shims there. Back this camera up a little bit here so you can see better what we got going on. So now I should be able to pull these screws out right here. I think they're 2mm as well. Maybe I'm wrong. No, they're 2mm. I think that's just a junky one. Oh, there's a set screw in there. I forgot. Stand by. Okay, we got a little set screw right in here we gotta take out. Focus right there. Now we can get this out, this screw. And that's what's holding the knuckle on. Down out. We do the same thing over here on this side. And there's a little bit hard to see, but it's right there. Go ahead and back it out. I always put a little bit of blue Loctite on these when I put them back in. So you'll see that's what that residue is. I don't know if you can actually see it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. And we'll go ahead and get this one out. That's what it looks like. Focus. There you go. Then we'll flip the car upside down and do the same thing on the bottom. I'll make sure you don't lose these little screws here. It'd be a bad thing. Now let's get this thing flipped upside down. Go ahead and get that screw out. The tire's going to be a little tight, but it's easier to get to it than it is to get the wheel off this thing because I can't find my socket that's been ground down. I'll show you why here in a few minutes. Get the screw out. There it is. And we'll go ahead and do the other screw too while the wrench is in our hand. It's a little hard to see in that dark area back in there. We should be able to just pull that right on out of there. I could be wrong. This could be locking it here. Go ahead and take the other knuckle loose. If I remember right, when I put these knuckles on here, they were kind of a challenge to get lined up. So hopefully it goes a little bit better this time. Okay, I'm back. After several minutes of fighting it, you don't have to take these screws out to get the axles out. It was just the knuckles being on such an angle that it made it real difficult to get the knuckles unhooked. So I ended up having to take the wheel and tire off of the left side of the Ryft over here, and was able to get this knuckle out. Then once you get the knuckle out, the shaft will slide out, and then I'm able to get the gear off and the spool. So I'll get this cleaned up and take it apart, get it cleaned up, and we'll get the new locker put in, the spool. So stand by and I'll be right back. Okay, these are 1.5 millimeter, holding the gear on. A vacuum fit together. I think I put earplugs in it, but they're not really holding up that good now. So we're gonna go ahead and lock this thing up. This gasket we probably won't need again. I might put it in just because. And get these bearings off. And then we gotta get this spool out, or the center piece, the gears, find some pliers. There we go. Yeah, I definitely put air plugs in it. They're really pretty solid. So there's one set of gears. And there's the other set. And I'll go ahead and get that silicone cleaned out of there. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. We got the center locker here, the spool. We got the insert. We're going to insert that right in there. Just like that, push it in. And I'm going to go ahead and put the gasket on there. Just because it might be a clearance issue without it. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. Probably don't need to. Seen a couple guys on YouTube converting their Ryft into crawlers. And I think I'd get more use out of it if I do that. So that's what I'm gonna do. Get that fusion motor in it. Now, I'm probably gonna have to take the transmission out and lock the center diff too, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Right now, okay, and I'm gonna put all the shims and stuff back just like they were. Actually, I think on the other side. And shim the bearing, just like the other one. And get the shim put it on the side. Tack on the bearing, so there we go. And pop it back in. And we'll grease it. Okay, I'm gonna fight this off camera because you guys can't see anything with my paws around it anyway. So I'll come back when I get that side in, and then we'll put the other side in. Hopefully the other side will go a little bit easier. I think why I'm having so much trouble on this side is because the shaft's a lot shorter and doesn't give me enough flex room to pull this up at an angle the way it needs, because there's a lot of angle right here. You probably can't see it on the camera. Anyway, there's a lot of angle pitch this direction, and I think that's why I'm having so much trouble getting that in there. Anyway, I'll come back in a couple minutes and we'll work on the other side. Okay, I got that side in. It was not any fun. You guys didn't miss anything. So basically, you have to get this center spool lined up just perfect. So what I did is I rotated the drive shaft and rotated this knuckle until they slid in. And once it slid in enough, then I was able to get the knuckle in. So it really wasn't that difficult once I got it all lined up. The hard part was getting everything lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this knuckle up. I went ahead and put the screw in the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and run it in. And I don't put any Loctite on these. I put the Loctite on the set screw or the lock screw. The grub screw or whatever you want to call it. It's not really a grub screw, it's got a head on it. But it'll lock these in place. So put those nice and tight. Make sure it pivots good. And then we'll go ahead and put the lock screws in. And I'll put a little Loctite on them. Got the blue Loctite here. And what I did on mine to keep it from filling the lid full is I put a little Q-tip in it, or not Q-tip, but a toothpick in it. So you can see here, I toothpicked it. I don't want that all over my table. And we'll take one of them little screws, get our little driver. And just a little Loctite on there. Whoa, don't want that much. So what I'll do is I'll get another screw and we'll share it with the bottom. There we go. Go ahead and get that set in there. I'll tell you, these Treal axles are really sweet. Kind of almost ashamed to scratch them all up on the crawler course, but that's what they're for. So let's get a little groove in it right there by the head. There you go, that might be better. You have to excuse my dry, crusty hands. Now let's see if we can get this other side in there without too much difficulty. Might be a little challenge with the wheel on it, but we'll try. Give her a whirl. Far so good. Okay, I'll get this lined up here where it goes, and then we'll rotate the drive shaft and try to get that to pop in. There we go. And get that in, and then we'll put a set screw in it, or actually a knuckle screw. Always put too much Loctite on it. Never fails. Tight, and then I'll back it up just a hair, and then we'll get our set screw put in. Alright, so now all we got to do is get it greased. Yeah, I think if you put it in from the front, we have to straighten this link up so there's room. Straighten the steering up. And it should pop right on there. Don't forget the Loctite on these screws. Metal into metal. That's a general rule. See here, they thread in on the back. Put this one in right here. And then there's two more that go on the top, which are down there. There's one. The other one's over there. So we'll get them put in, and then I'll bring you back. Well, now we just gotta get the wheel put back on. Alright, she should be all locked up now. Get my Loctite put away. Alright folks, there you go. Now at least we got the front and the rear diffs locked up. Next time when I bring you back, we'll go ahead and get a, I got to order a locker for the center diff. So we'll get that done. Then when we come back, we'll get that put in. And then we'll install this fusion. Like I said, I got the adapter, shaft adapter to go to 5mm. And then I got the 12 tooth gear. Like I said, this is a Traxxas gear, but it's a Mod 1 gear. So we'll get that put in, and then we'll see how this thing will crawl. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you can be notified when new videos come out.